Why do most entrepreneurs fail, while a few seemingly cut through every adversary with ease? Buried in the Book of Wind by Miyamoto Musashi lies a 400-year-old strategy that will completely rewire how you approach competition forever. Kenji sat in his now empty office, staring at bankruptcy papers. His tech startup had been flattened by giant competitors that seemed to anticipate his every move. That night, his grandfather gave him an ancient text, the Book of Five Rings. On page 127, Kenji found Musashi's most paradoxical teaching about wind, the element that defeats all others, not through force, but by becoming formless. It also sets out 5 devastating principles within the Book of Wind that 99% of business leaders completely misunderstand. Musashi called this section Knowing the Enemy's School, but it's actually about becoming so adaptable that you're impossible to predict or counter. Chapter 1. Kaze no Kokoro, the Wind Mind. Musashi wrote, "Wind has no form, but it can topple the mightiest oak." The paradox? To defeat your competition, you must stop trying to beat them directly. Instead, you become formless, constantly shifting your approach until your competitors exhaust themselves trying to counter you. One MIT behavioral economist who has researched the competitive dynamics for 22 years found that companies practicing strategic ambiguity, that is, deliberately keeping their next moves unclear, outperformed direct competitors by 340% over 5-year periods. These companies didn't disguise their goals, they made their methods unpredictable. This means running several small experiments instead of placing huge bets on single strategies in modern application. While your competitors are ramping up enormous campaigns around one idea, you're testing 15 different approaches. They're playing checkers, you're playing 3-dimensional chess. Chapter 2, Mu no Kamae, the no stance stance. What Musashi found was that not having a fixed stance made him unbeatable. Enemies couldn't anticipate his attack. The paradox? Your most potent weapon is looking like you have no strategy whatsoever. A neuroscientist at Stanford University, who has researched decision-making under uncertainty for 16 years, found that brains working hard to predict patterns consume 60% more glucose. Literally, when competitors cannot read your patterns, they exhaust their mental resources trying to figure you out. This means your marketing channels are constantly changing, as are your pricing models and product features. When everybody else is doubling down on Facebook ads, you are experimenting with TikTok, direct mail, and partnership marketing all at once. Meanwhile, your competition expends energy preparing for battles you're not even fighting. Chapter 3. Tsuki no Kokyu, Moon Breathing. Wind always blows in a cycle, fierce, gentle, but always there. Musashi taught that just as the moon waxes and contracts in cycles, true warriors breathe in perfect rhythm, sustaining themselves in an ever-fluxing universe. And, paradoxical as it may sound, you actually pick up speed if you draw back fully at moments. One Harvard Business School professor studied 10,000 startup failures over 20 years and said companies that practiced strategic retreat, scaling back before major pushes, had 280% higher survival rates. They called it coiling the spring. In practice, this means going silent on social media for weeks, then exploding with massive content drops. It means pulling products from certain markets, only to return with enhanced versions. Your competitors think you've given up, then suddenly you're everywhere with superior positioning. Chapter 4. Keige Bunshin, Shadow Division. Wind splits around obstacles, surrounding them from multiple angles simultaneously. Musashi wrote of dividing your presence so enemies cannot focus their attacks. The paradox? You become stronger by dividing your apparent strength. One game theory researcher from Oxford University, who studied multi-front competition for 14 years, found entities operating from plural, seemingly disconnected, positions win 75% more often than those attacking from single points. The cognitive load of tracking multiple threats overwhelms the defensive system. That means running several brands, using different group members as public faces for various initiatives, and creating products seemingly unrelated, yet strategically interlocking. Meanwhile, your competitors focus their energy on attacking your primary brand, blissfully unaware of the shadow operations capturing market share they don't even know exists. Chapter 5. K's no say, wind victory. The ultimate lesson. Wind wins, not by destroying obstacles, but by making them irrelevant. Musashi's final paradox. True victory comes from making competition meaningless, rather than defeating competitors directly. According to a complexity scientist at INSEAD, studying market disruption for 25 years, companies that created entirely new categories rather than competing in existing ones realized 500% faster growth rates. They did not win the game. They did not even play the same game. That means, instead of making a better social media scheduler, you build an ecosystem platform for brands. Instead of competing with existing solutions, you make the entire category obsolete by solving a bigger problem your competitors never considered. Like steel forged in sacred fires, you're not building better habits. You're becoming someone your competition cannot comprehend or counter. Today, choose one principle and disappear into formless action. Subscribe, hit the bell, and tell me which wind principle will destroy your competition first.